Oh, hello everybody, and welcome back to the YNTAAY Minis. This is part 4 of my Playbill collection, and we're up to The Last Sunday in June. That's the name of the play, and I saw it with my friend Abigail on May 25th, 2003. Here's the playbill. Now, I don't remember very much. It was an off-Broadway play at the Century Center for the Performing Arts. I don't remember very much about this play. I know it was a gay play. It doesn't seem to have anybody in the cast that I would have said, oh, I've got to go see them. I'm sure it was very funny. And I remember my friend Abigail, we weren't by an aisle or anything, and Abigail got a terrible tickle in her throat and started having a coughing attack. And she coughed through much of the play, and it wasn't where you could really get up very easily. So she just had to suffer through the whole play. Remember that, Abigail? I felt terrible for her. Then I think I saw this one alone. I don't remember Abigail going to it. It's Gypsy, starring Bernadette Peters, and look, Tammy Blanchard signed it, and John Dossett. Yeah, this was the one at the Schubert Theater, and Bernadette Peters had been having like vocal problems, like she had had throat problems, and I can't remember if she had missed performances, but she was still in the show, bless her, and of course it's still very exciting seeing Bernadette. Look, Julie Halston was in it, Brooks Ashmanskas of the Prom. Yeah, so it's very exciting. You never know what people are going to be in. Here was that Gypsy ticket. Then I saw 9, the musical, at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. And, you know, that's a movie. They made it into a movie, and nobody ever talks about 9. Look, Jane Krakowski signed it. I can't read that signature. But it had Antonio Banderas. Maybe that was Antonio Banderas. Who can read that signature? Laura Benanti. Great cast. Mary Stuart Masterson. Cheetah Rivera. My goodness. But yes. Look, Mary Beth Peel is in it. Or was in it. It was enjoyable. And yes. Oh, now this is interesting. I also saw Moving Out at the Richard Rogers Theater. Now this was the matinee, I believe. Yes, the 2 p.m. Wednesday matinee. This is the, oh, excuse me. I'm back. All of my little things fell out of the playbill. This was the matinee. And look, nobody was there. Everybody was out that day. But this was interesting because months and months before, I had been on a plane going to West Virginia, and there was this guy on the plane named Wade Preston. Well, we were both going to West Virginia. I think his father had either died or was sick, and we both had to spend the night in Pennsylvania because of a delayed flight thing. I think it was in December. And for some reason, he was at one hotel and I was at the other. And then we chatted on the plane, and he was telling me how he was maybe going to go to New York, and he was perhaps going to be in this show. Well, I go to see this show, Moving Out, the Billy Joel musical, with Twyla Tharp. Is it Twyla? Hold on. Twyla Tharp. Sorry, Twyla. I don't know why I had a mind melt right then. So yes, the choreography was by Twyla Tharp and to Billy Joel music. And it was mostly told through singing with the band on the stage up here and the dancers down there. And so I go to see this matinee, And I really wanted to see Michael Cavanaugh in the role. And I see that it's Wade Preston, which I was delighted. They took turns, and Wade was on alternate days, maybe a few days a week. And so it was the guy from the Airplane from months and months ago, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I saw that, and then I talked to him afterwards, and I really enjoy that show. And so then I saw, but it's funny who you can meet on the airplane, and if you end up talking to them, you might end up seeing them in a Broadway show later on. Now then, Abigail and I saw Hairspray at the Neil Simon Theater, and yes, it was still when the original cast was in it, which was very exciting. Look, you've got your Harvey Fierstein, your Marissa Jarrett Winokur, Laura Bell Bundy, Mary Bond Davis, Carrie Butler, my goodness, Matthew Morrison, Dick Latessa, Jackie Hoffman. Everybody's in this show. Linda Hart. So afterwards, we waited, and look, I had brought my Hairspray book. Hairspray, The Roots. Isn't that cute? And I had everybody, don't think Dick Latessa signed it, but everybody signed my book. And look, there's Harvey Fierstein and Matt Morrison, who later went on to do Glee, of course, and Laura Bell Bundy. So that was very exciting. And look, Linda Hart wrote up there, love Linda Hart, and to Chris. Just personalized it quite nicely. I recommend this book for everybody if you can still get it. But somebody came up to Harvey and they were like, could I have a picture with you? And he was like, I'm sorry, I don't do pictures, but thank you for asking. But he did do autographs, which is more than some do. Then we saw Urinetown. I may have gone alone. Some of these I went alone, and because not everybody likes to see a million shows like me. So this was on May 29th, 2003 at 8 p.m. And the cast had changed a bit. The great Carolee Carmello, who I go see as much as I can with her in it, was in the show then. Tom Cavanaugh was in it. From, what was it, TV's Ed? Yeah, so that was fun. John Cullum signed my playbill. And I love me some Urinetown. And then I went again to see Moving Out because I really had enjoyed it. I love Billy Joel music. And this time I saw it. This was on the Friday night. So Michael Cavanaugh was in the show and he signed my program. So what was nice, that on the Wednesday I got to see Wade Preston, and on the Friday night I got to see Michael Cavanaugh. And yes, that was fun. And then, you know what's weird? I have these playbills here that are not from that New York trip, and I don't know why they're in there, but look, I have the playbill of The Lion King. This is in LA at the Pantages Theater. I've got Tommy from the Schubert Theater in Los Angeles, which they tore down to make office buildings. Tragedy, and the theater wasn't even 30 years old, so it's a shame. I also saw Dame Edna, the Royal Tour at the Schubert Theater. Here's an extra Thou Shalt Not from the Plymouth Theater, which I showed you last time. Look, when Mamma Mia came to the United States before it went to Broadway, it stopped in Los Angeles at the Schubert Theater. Somebody gave me this playbill for the producers at the St. James, and it's signed by Nathan Lane. I did not see him. As you know, I saw Henry Goodman. Here's Bat Boy, the musical. I know my friend Patty saw this, so she might have gotten that for me. It was at the Union Square Theater off Broadway. Oh, and Saturday Night Fever. which I also have the poster, as you can see right there in the hall, hanging. They're different colors, though. Now we're all the way up to October of 2003, and I saw a little show that was in previews called Wicked. And I was very excited about it because who doesn't love The Wizard of Oz, Stephen Schwartz, Kristen Chenoweth, Idina Menzel from Rent. And then this fell out of, and I've shown you this in another video, but this fell out of the program. And we were all like, oh no. And it said, to our valued theater goers, please be aware that Kristen Chenoweth has aggravated a previous injury in her neck, or to her neck. She is getting better every day, is no longer in pain, and does not want to miss a performance. As a result, however, she will be wearing a protective neck collar during the show. So don't worry, she was in it, and this was the original cast, and it was in previews, and she was wearing a big neck collar, and they had it decorated with jewels and stuff. And here's that cast. The great Joel Grey, Carol Shelley, Norbert Leo Butz. Oh, terrific cast. Christopher Fitzgerald. And marvelous show. I loved it so much, and as I've told you in another video, I was like, what is that song that goes da 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 ba da 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 popular? It was the first song I loved in the show. Then when I was there with my friend Rob Stevens, the theater critic, and we saw the play The Retreat from Moscow. Now it had John Lithgow in it, and Ben Chaplin from The Truth About Cats and Dogs, and Eileen Atkins. We were very jet lagged, very sleepy, and don't remember much about that play. I'm sorry. I also saw Tennessee Williams' Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and this had Ashley Judd and Ned Beatty and Jason Patrick in it. Yeah, you know, it's a good play, a classic. Margot Martindale was in that. I just love her. But, so there's that ticket. And then I went to see Little Shop of Horrors. This is at the Virginia Theater, which of course now is the Stevenson, I don't know, or whatever theater it is. That's where this was. And this of course had well, great people in it. Carrie Butler, Hunter Foster, they were in it. And delightful. And I saw Thoroughly Modern Millie, which of course Sutton Foster, wonderful. And we're almost out of time, so we'll see you in part 5. Goodbye.